today is going to talk about the real estate course. In order for you to get your Maryland real estate license, you're going to start off by taking a course for the salesperson license. And that course is 60 hours, 60. You can take it two ways. So I'll break it down. Either you're going to take it self paced or independent study, where you start whenever you're available, go through it at your own schedule. If you have that type of a schedule, then that is different than the majority. You could be looking at this after you get off work at 2 a.m. in the morning, all the way to 6 a.m. or whatever time you're available. So that is self-paced independent study. Majority of the schools are going to give you 90 days, 3 months to complete that particular content. So during those 3 months, this is great for a person who you know yourself, whether you are able to come up with a schedule, follow it, and when it doesn't work out, you're still able to log in and go through the content. Everything is available online. So here, without assumption, you would need to have internet access and a device, whether it's your phone or a tablet or a computer, to be able to go through it. So that 90 days, as you're going through the content, each unit or module, before you go further, you are going to be quizzed in order to make sure that you have understood the content. So for some of us, that's great because you get the opportunity to confirm you understood the material. When you are done, there will be a final exam. Depending on the school you pick, some are going to be done online. And online, I mean, you will have someone proctor you. So you will turn on your camera. Somebody is going to watch you going through the final exam. Some schools, you're going to go to a local library. And some schools, you would need to go physically to a location to complete that final exam. So to echo it again, there is a final exam for you to complete the course, and the 60 hours is going to be tracked. Here, keep in mind, you're getting about 90 days. So that is self-paced independent study. The other way that you're able to take it is going to be with an instructor. So an instructor like myself will provide the schedule, and you will come to a location, or you're going to take it virtually through something like Zoom or Google Meet, and we go through the content. Yes, going through the course with an instructor is attractive for a lot of us because you're like, okay, Brenda, I don't know anything about this particular topic. I do need somebody to kind of guide me through it. I receive that. However, let me prepare you that even when you are going through the course with an instructor, you still need to go through the content. So what that means is that this course, you will get overwhelmed. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. So you do need to prepare yourself to review the content in addition to what the instructor is going through. So whether you take it self-paced or you have an instructor guiding you, prepare yourself to review the content in addition to the class time or the time you're logging in. So we'll talk about mindset at the end. This second method with an instructor comes with a schedule. So echoing it again, the instructor would provide when they're available to teach the course to the school, and then you'll select the schedule that works for you. There will be some schools that will have a midterm, kind of midway to check in. Please take this as similar to you taking a road trip where you're stopping by for a health break, snacks, and what have you, in order for you to get energy to continue. This midterm is just to pause. Let's check in and see how we're doing, because in comparison to the self-paced one, every module you're being quizzed to check in how you do it. With an instructor, we're going through the content and maybe you think you're understanding it. So the midterm is going to be a way to confirm and see what can we do different. So just preparing you for you to know what you need to do differently once again as you continue the course. Once you go through the 60 hours, which by the way are going to be clocked, and what I mean by that is if the class starts at 9 and it ends at 5, you will show up at 9 and leave at 5. If there are days when you have an appointment, you can't make it, you would need to make up that particular missed time before you go take either the final exam or the PSI state exam. We'll talk about the PSI exam later. So then you might be wondering, with an instructor, what is the schedule that might be available? This is where, just checking my notes to make sure I'm on track, we are breaking down 60 hours. An example is you might be attracted to a class being offered on Saturdays. So then you would go somewhere or you would do it virtually. So Saturdays, 6 hours, you end up taking 6 weeks thereabouts. Some of us might like the evening schedule because real estate is one of those things, could be an extra source of income. So you're doing something during the day and the evening works better for you to take the class. Let's say you're taking the class twice a week, Monday and Thursday, and it's 3 hours. So for a week, it's 6 hours. That also takes 10 weeks. Or it could be during the day. You're going Monday through Friday, 6 days, 6 hours a day for 5 days. So that ends up being about 2 weeks. The beauty is that you get to decide which schedule works for you. So we've covered the 2 ways. It's either self-paced, you're going through the content yourself, or you have an instructor. I've given you the example of a schedule. You would decide which one works for you. The way you take the course also is another decision in terms of with an instructor. So with an instructor, there's a schedule. I've given you a sample. And now you need to decide which manner or option are you going to take it. Are you going to physically go into a location, sit down, hang out with other individuals in that room, listen to the instructor, or are you going to do it at your own private space, whether it's at your residence or anywhere you have internet access? You have a device, it has camera, you have a microphone, and so you're doing it virtually through something like Zoom or Google Meet. Whichever way, with an instructor, you have both ways, either physically at a location or you are going to take it virtually. In review, with an instructor still comes 60 hours. You get to decide, are you going to take it at a location or virtually? The schedule will be presented to you. The next question from here, you might be asking, okay, when is the next one? We invite you to go to trainingwithbrenda.com, and then you will see products, click on licensing classes, and you have your options there. When you're ready, register, and we shall continue that conversation and guide you through taking the classes. Let me see. So we've talked about with an instructor at a location virtually. So now let's talk about probably 5 things you need to remember as you get started and when you get started to take this particular course. So it's 60 hours. You either take it with an instructor or not. Here, probably one thing that you need to note here will be, what if you think your schedule allows you to take it self-paced, and then life happens, you're not able to continue that way, you prefer taking it with an instructor, or vice versa. You started taking the course with an instructor, your schedule has changed, now you want to take it self-paced. Whatever hours you have gained once you start cannot be transferred. So that means if I went through the class online, self-paced, no instructor, I went through 30 hours, and now I prefer to switch where I have an instructor guiding me through it, and or vice versa. Those 30 hours are, I guess, for you to go through the content quicker. They cannot transfer to the other method that you're taking the course. I'm going to echo it again in terms of this course will get you feeling overwhelmed. When you get to that point, because it will come, refer back as to why in the world did you decide today to sign up for a real estate course, and what is the end goal once you get your real estate course. So whomever that you need to tell to keep you accountable, your loved ones, your friends, let them know so that they can be checking in and providing you support. Sometimes people say, oh, I don't want people to know I'm taking this class. I'm like, no, that they need to know so that they can keep you accountable and also show grace when things are running behind, because this course is going to take up a lot of your time. If you have a vacation planned, reschedule it. This course is going to take up a lot of your time. I think I have covered everything. If there's anything that I missed, oh yeah, I see one. Is there an extension if I do? Oh yeah, the final exam. So I'm just reading what is in the chat box. Thank you for asking that question. Is there an extension if I don't pass the final school exam? Here we're discussing that whichever style you want to take it, online, self-paced, independent study, all content is available online. You're reading it, you're going through it at your own pace, or you have an instructor going through the content. You're either going physically to a location or you're taking virtually through something like Zoom. This comes with a schedule. This also will give you the opportunity for you to have books. For some of the schools, they will give you books, physical books that you can touch, and some of them are going to give you ebooks. So here, before I answer the question, I'm getting there, is that when you get those books, so right behind me, I'm giving you a sample of some of the books that do exist. Not every school is going, or rather, not all schools use the same book. So whichever book that you get, read ahead, go through the content in those particular books. We mentioned that there is a final exam. Some schools will give you opportunity to try a couple of times. So before you sign up, read the policy. Majority of them are going to give you at least 2 tries. So what that means is when I'm getting ready to do the final, yes, you will be nervous. You know the content, you just need to apply it. Is you will go through it once. If things don't work out, then you'll be given another opportunity for you to take it. The school is going to give you guidelines as to how long that time is from when you did it the first time and it did not work out to the second try or the third try. Here's where I'm going to break your heart. If you do not pass the final exam, then my dear, you will need to take the course again. So the hours and passing the final exam are one packet. So you would need to pass both the final exam and complete the 60 hours. Sometimes we're like, yeah, I can sit through this 60 hours, I'll be done. And then you start studying the last minute to try and pass your final exam. This type of course works a little bit different. You do need to be reviewing content as often as you can and not wait to try and cram it all the night before you take your final exam. So I'm gonna prepare you. You do need to prepare yourself for the final exam. You are fortunate to have stumbled through this particular video. So that means either you caught us from another video, or I'm going to introduce you to the library that we have on YouTube that you can start peeling through, going through it as you're going through the course. We do have the opportunity to explain things a little bit different from your instructor if you're going through it with an instructor. However, follow the instructor's guideline in terms of the syllabus. Prepare yourself, read ahead if you can. If you cannot, go through the questions that are provided either on the self-paced part of the course, or if you're going to take it with an instructor and you have books, go through those questions in that textbook as often as you can. So I think I answered that question. If there are others, please put them on the chat box. We are doing our best to do these sessions for not more than 20 minutes. Next week, I should have checked what it is that I'm going to be talking about next week. So next week is going to be the what? The 25th. The Monday right before we go through Thanksgiving celebration for those who celebrate that. So we are going to be talking about that final exam again, and then getting you ready to talk about that state exam, which is where we shine because our channel is called Pass the Maryland Real Estate Exam. Until next time, enjoy your week. I thank you for watching. Take care.